Hi everybody, welcome back to Brelsford Family Homestead. I'm in the garden again. I am going to be harvesting this oregano and some other herbs, and the sun is getting ready to touch them, and I want to harvest them before that. You know, you get distracted in the garden, but I wanted to bring you along and also show you the cool drying rack that I'm going to be using this year. Let's go. First things first, check this out. Earlier this year, my mom got this from a friend to give to me, and I love it. I've already been using it to harvest things for dinner, like spinach and garlic scapes. So I'm going to use it to harvest the oregano today. But I mean, it's huge. So with this oregano, you can just chop. You don't have to be careful. It's going to grow back. So I'm just going to cut this back a lot. It's really, really full. I've got these little pair of pruners. Any kind that you have will do, even scissors. It's probably going to look pretty sad when I'm done. To take away the beauty of the garden, kind of, but it will come back very quickly. And the reason we're growing this is to eat it, right? To share with family and friends and to cook with. This is going to be plenty of oregano for me. I am sure that I will gift some of it when it's all ready. When I'm done with this, I'm going to take you over to where my thyme and sage is, and we're going to harvest some of that as well. Some of the thyme is flowering and the sage is flowering as also, but I'm going to cut what is not flowering. So it's ideal to catch it just before it flowers, but I'm assuming that you're the same as us and you're having crazy weather. It's like a lot of things are like a month ahead than normal, or a couple weeks at least, but we're also having some cooler weather than we kind of expect. I mean, last night it was 47 degrees, even though it'll be 80 during the day. So we're a couple days away from June. I don't know, I'm not complaining. I still have so much stuff to do in the garden. I'm still planting things. My peppers I'm not gonna put out until June anyway, so that's fine. But it seems like it's always just a race. But I am farther along this year than I ever have been before. So there's hope for you too. Almost got this all. I have a bucket I'm going to use too, because I don't want to have to sift through all of this to find the small amount of thyme and sage. You can rinse this and dry it, you know, maybe put it through a salad spinner or something. I am not going to. I'm not going to add any moisture back to this. This is grown in my garden. I know exactly what's in here. I don't see any bugs. That doesn't mean there isn't anything in there, but I'm going to shake it off. I'm really not concerned. If you're super concerned, then by all means, go through it with a magnifying glass and wash it off. Not me. Let's go see the other herbs. I am going to put this in the shade while I'm cutting the other things, just because I don't want it to get all wilty. Look at these strawberries. They are jamming. These are ever bearing. A couple are starting to blush. I have some June bearing in the back of the garden. I'll do a garden tour a little later in another video, but I got 5 strawberries last night. I didn't tell anybody in my house, and I ate all 5 of them by myself. And I'm not sorry. All right, we're gonna trim some. Hello. We're gonna trim some of this sage. Aren't these flowers beautiful? Hey, these smell so good too. I hope I get some more flowers. I'm just gonna reach down here and trim these, leaving a little bit of leaf below. And I'm not gonna cut the leaves off. I'm gonna dry them like this and then just pull them off when it's done. If you're able to, you really should have a chair like I'm sitting on in your garden. I'd like some other kind as well, but I struggle with some back issues that I'm believing for restoration with, but it makes it so much easier when I can sit down to do things like this. And also I can just sit down and enjoy the beauty of the garden. Now I cook with sage fresh as well, but I do like to have it dried on hand for a lot of different recipes and for the winter time. I'm gonna leave the ones that are flowering because they're pretty and because I can. I don't have to harvest all of this. I can leave some for beauty and for another day. I think that's good enough. That's a good bit for me. And I still have some dried, whole and dried crushed from last year. So, you know, a little plant will do you. This came back from last year. I think I got a 3-pack. No, this is the 3rd year. I got a 3-pack and planted it, and it just comes back every time. So I love herbs for that reason. Some you have to replant, but so many you don't. You can see these beautiful little flowers on this thyme. So I'm going to try not to harvest any that have flowers. I mean, not that it's a big deal if you do, but for peak taste, you're supposed to harvest just before it flowers and not in the heat of the day. The sun has just started touching this, so we are okay. It smells so good. I'm not gonna harvest very much of this. Maybe another snip here, because I do have a lot in my pantry. I'm still working on the garden, so there's lots of weeds and things around, but I'd show you that I have rosemary here. There's my chives. If you have blossoms and you like vinegars, definitely check out my video on chive blossom vinegar. So easy and delicious. Hey, what's that? Is it poop or is it like an insect? Might be a cocoon of some kind. I have, this is peppermint, parsley, and dill, then my thyme and my sage. Something I'm really excited about, woo, sorry, the noise from the neighbors, is this chamomile. I'm really excited about this chamomile. It smells so good. My daughter and I were out here before chores just touching it and walking around sniffing our hands. All right, we're gonna head in the house and put these herbs on the drying rack, but look at my mailbox. Isn't that super cute? And the calibraca that match. I love it. So anyway, I just have some things to tie up the tomatoes in there, a spade, a hori, that kind of stuff. Huh. Something just fell in the tree over there. Let's go inside and get those herbs drying. One more look at that because I love it. So I've got my new drying rack hooked up to the ceiling in my laundry room. This one is 2 feet across and 4 tiers. You can take 2 tiers off if you want to. The first one I bought, I didn't read the description well, and it was 3 feet across. So don't be like me. I couldn't find a place to hang it in the house. Okay, I'm trying not to have awkward camera angles, but it is a narrow space, though it's long. So I'm just going to put these kind of like on a single layer, all on as many of these as it will take. If you don't have one of these, I mean, it's easy. It is easy to dry herbs. You could just tie them in a bunch like this, or just cut a bunch that are connected. You can hang them anywhere where there's some airflow. You know, you don't want it to be like in a really closed place. It won't dry. You don't want it to mold or anything. You can certainly use a dehydrator. I've done that many, many times, but I just wanted to try this for just maintaining a little bit more of the flavor. Oops. And because I'm intending to dry that chamomile too for tea and things. I'm so excited about that. But this also doesn't require any electricity. And it was a gift. It was a Mother's Day gift from my mother-in-law, who is amazing. Almost done here. I'm gonna put the thyme and the sage, I think, on the same space, just because there's not a full rack of it, and then I don't need the extra space. You know what? This is going to be smelling so good in here. Maybe I'll come and do more laundry or not. I'm going to enjoy this. So I will not post this video until this is dry, so I can share with you truly how I like it, since this is the first time I'm using this kind, and how many days that it takes for these to dry. I don't expect it to take very long, but I'll show you when it's all done. Here's day one. Before I start unloading this, I just wanted you to see it next to me and the good size that it is. It can unhook here, so if you don't need to use them, or if you have some that aren't finished here, but these are. But I love this. I can just take it and collapse it all here, and then I can work through it. This basil is almost done, but it's just a little bit soft, so I'm going to leave that, and we'll take the other items out. I'm going to go ahead and take this basil off of here, but I'm going to put it back on when I'm done. It's just, it happens to be on this top rack. So when I'm done, I usually just pop all of the leaves off of the branches. I'll show you that with the oregano. And then I store it inside of a mason jar. I typically don't crush it up unless I really need more space, which is usually the case with basil, because I always have way more than I need. So I'm gonna take, this is the oregano. I'm just gonna put it in this pan here and then work on it. It is all on one rack. Smells good. I've seen these with zippers, so it's completely enclosed, but I think it would be harder to get everything out, especially if you wanted to only do one or two of the tiers at a time. So I guess it depends what you're drying. But I also had read reviews like that the zippers give out pretty quickly. And I'm hoping that this will last me for a long time. Okay, so that is all the oregano. We have some more basil in here. That will all fit on one rack when I'm done. I'm sure I could harvest more when I'm done here. And that is the sage. We'll pull that out last. Oh, and the thyme is in there too. Let's just deal with this oregano. So it's just really easy once it's dry, is you just put it between your fingers and pull down. It takes a lot less time to do it this way than trying to pull all the leaves off before you dry it. So I like to save the time, and it's just super easy. So when I'm done, I'll just scoop this all up and put it in whichever size jar is appropriate. And then I'll have plenty for cooking throughout the year, and I'm sure for gift giving as well. I got all of the oregano taken off the stems, and I'm just going to put these in the compost. So I'm going to put it in a jar. I wanted to show you my new favorite way to label things is blue painter's tape and just a chalk marker. Now I do have cute printable labels that you've seen if you've been around here at all, but this will just be my backup, not my daily user. So I really like the way it stands out. When I was using a black Sharpie, it was harder to see, but anyway, it's just the little things, right? So I'm just gonna put all of this in here, and then I will fill the one that I use regularly in the kitchen from here. And it looks like I might need to use part of another one, but we'll see. And this is going to be great. I'll mix this with some other herbs to make Italian seasoning for my sauce that I'll be making later this summer. I'm really excited about it. So this took, I'll put for sure the timing in the description below, but it was not long that it took to dry this. Surprisingly, the thyme and the sage took much longer than the oregano. I thought the thyme would dry the fastest, and it did not. This still didn't take very long. I didn't have a fan going or anything. I since have gotten a tower fan that I'm going to keep in there, and that would help it to dry even faster. But the idea is to be able to put this up and set it and forget it, and not have it be, you know, in the way, and let it dry thoroughly. And I love the size of this one. It's about 2 feet across with the 6 layers. The first one that I ordered was 3 feet across, and it was huge. I could not find a single place in the house to make it fit where it was not in the way. So anyway, I'm really enjoying this. I'm looking forward to putting more herbs on it and drying other things. I'll put a link to it in the description below. This one is by iPower, and it came with a really nice little pair of clippers too that I have out in my garden. So anyway, I hope that you guys will start preserving some of your own herbs. Maybe if you're not growing any, but it's still not too late to buy some plants or even start from seed. Or maybe you can get some from somebody else. Like I usually give away bags and bags of basil. I just always have so much of it. And I appreciate you watching. Until next time, God bless.